Okay, so the last video was a 2-day video from the 501 shelter to 198, and then a slack pack from Port Clinton back to 198, and then this starts at Port Clinton, even though there's no clips of Port Clinton in here.
So this is Pulpit Rock. I guess I'll do a Pulpit Rock 360. That's Pulpit Rock. There's some kind of observatory or something right there. Right down there. Later. And that's southbound. And that's northbound.
Well, everybody's familiar with Pennsylvania rocks, Rocksylvania. But the first half of Pennsylvania going north, it's no different than the rest of the trail. The Pennsylvania rocks really start about 10 miles past Port Clinton. And in this video, you'll see a lot of just pictures of all the different rocks that you're going to have to hike through as you're going north out of Port Clinton.
That would be the trail. I guess we've arrived at Pennsylvania rocks. All right, that is the trail. Guess we've arrived at Pennsylvania rocks. Well, I guess we're in Pennsylvania. There's a white blaze right there. Just came up from down there.
Okay, so the rocks pretty much start here, and they continue through the rest of Pennsylvania for the most part. My biggest disappointment was hitting New Jersey and finding out that there's more rocks in New Jersey. This is a 360 of Windsor Furnace Shelter. This is the first one just north of Port Clinton. Okay, so when I got to Eckhart Shelter, it's on a road. I got a ride into Hamburg to visit the Cabela's.
All right, so here's an interesting view of the Appalachian Trail. The trail's right down here in this gap. And if you look at the profile in Gut Hook, it almost follows this exact same profile, where you climb up this ridge right here, you go across this flat part, and then you climb up this ridge here. And I'm in a nugget spot here. And then you hike along the top of that ridge all the way to the road that Eckhart Shelter's on. Eckhart Shelter's one of these odd shelters. Is actually on a road. The The AT crosses the road. You go north, you make a right, and you hike down the road about 200 or 300 yards, and Eckhart Shelter's on your right. And so the trail just follows that ridge all the way over there, and then what it does is it kind of makes a turn and goes back this way, and then goes back out again, like a little horseshoe thing in there. And Eckhart Shelter's on the end of that little horseshoe lake. But that's the trail. You'll actually see this. I know you can't see the tower here. There's like a radio type tower transmitter there, and you go right past that when you're hiking. So there's a view of the Appalachian Trail right there.
So these following are just a group of pictures of the trail, and as you can see, it's just hiking through rocks up and down all the way.
This is probably one of the more interesting parts of the trail. I think you'll see this in a lot of YouTube videos. This is just a rock ridge. And of course, down that way, obviously it's valley. And over this way, it just drops down. Now you can't really see anything. It just drops down about, oh, I don't know, looks like you're about maybe 30 to 40 feet up. Sorry, that was pretty fast. And of course, nobody in their video says how long this goes on. So if I remember, I'll say something like, hey, once you hit this, you're gonna have 100 yards, 200 yards, 50 yards. But I've been in it for, probably 50 yards, and I don't see an end to it yet. Later. Whoa.
All these clips and pictures were taken over about a 3 or 4 day period. I don't remember how long this was. And I don't even remember where this ends. So if you recognize this sign at the end, which is probably a pretty obscure question, if you recognize this sign at the end, let me know where it is, and then I'll know where this ends and where the next set of videos start. Later.